News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam and Viral Hip Hop News. We're in the building. It's a Tuesday. You know how we do.
Yeah.
Another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What's up, man? Chilling. I'm excited to be here once a day. This is always the highlight of my day, being here on the set of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. If you're listening, wherever you're listening at, please go to YouTube and type in the Uncensored Truth Podcast and subscribe to our channel, man. We definitely appreciate it. We got quite a lineup today, man. We're going to get into a few stories today. It's going to be real spirited, so I appreciate everybody who's going to listen to this one, man. Definitely.
Indeed. We never really like to go with the grain of what's going on in today's hip hop. We always like to go against the grain, so we got a great show lined up for you today. Real excited to be here. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe, like old guy said, to Viral Hip Hop News, Uncensored, and of course the official Uncensored Truth Podcast channel. If I get my mic correct. But yeah, man, what we got on the ticker today, brother?
We're gonna be talking about Lil Pump. You know, you're talking about some crazy erratic video by Lil Pump that you want to talk about. Also, Liam Nelson had a interesting video that we're gonna talk about, a rant that he said. Also, we're gonna be talking about 50 Cent commenting on 6ix9ine. That one's crazy, what 50 Cent said about 6ix9ine, as well as a few other topics we're going to talk about today here on the Uncensored Truth Podcast. So yeah, man, we're in the building, man. If you're listening on YouTube, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the like button and make sure you share this video. Yeah.
Indeed, man. This podcast is sponsored by Purple Punch. You know what I mean? We expect podcasts coming real soon, man, but we're real excited to get this show popping. So what we got today, man? What we got
first? I want to I don't know, did you see the video? Steve, you watched anything ESPN today? No,
not too much today.
But Stephen A. Smith was pretty much, they were talking about Carson Wentz today and Nick Foles, and he was saying pretty much they kind of try to brush it off. It was crazy that that a few players pretty much told Stephen A. Smith that some of the players in the locker room are more comfortable going with Nick Foles. And a lot of people now are questioning why they're trying to, because the rumors came out now that they're trying to either trade him to, they're going to franchise him and then probably maybe unload him to Jacksonville, for whatever they're going to do with that, whatever player.
That's
so
a nice home for
a lot of people are saying like, yo, we want Nick Foles to go. So it was a player, Nick Foles to stay. It was a player who I guess talked to Stephen A. Smith. They didn't give the name, but I guess he has a relationship with one of the Eagles players and kind of gave him the consensus of the locker room. So it's what do you think about that situation though? Because once again, that question is coming to the forefront. Who should be the quarterback for the Eagles going forward? And it appears that the locker room may be some people with Nick, some with Carson. Who do you think the Eagles should go with for quarterback next year?
I don't care. I just like it as a Redskins fan because this is divisive. This is going to cause turmoil amongst the locker room, and it doesn't look like the Eagles, a very talented, skilled football team. A team that could have easily beaten the Patriots last week in the Super Bowl, that bullshit game. It looks like they're going to have a little bit of turmoil right here because obviously the rumor was Nick Foles was gone after the game. We seen what he did in relief once again of Carson Wentz, a quarterback that I love. I definitely think that he's a stud. I think that he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks, top 5 quarterbacks in the league. But the criticism is very accurate, injury prone. Do you want to throw that stigma on them yet? The offense, whether we want to say it or not, moved a lot smoother with Nick Foles in there. It was a different kind of confidence. You see my man, what's my guy, Alshon catching the rock easy. Yeah. You got what's that boy's name? Tate. He got involved in the offense. The offense got clicking. If Carson Wentz, he comes out and they make him the starter and they make him the guy, you're gonna hear it all through training camp. You're gonna hear it all through mini camp. He goes out in September and throws 1 pick, 2 pick. The boos start coming. Then this, I
mean, I would definitely, definitely have to say that he has the most pressure. I think next year going in, probably of any quarterback, he's going to have to produce because most likely they're going to get rid of Nick. Here's my thing, man. I think you're kind of looking at. Here's what people say. They're saying that pretty much Nick is better in the system, but Carson's a better athlete. I can concede to that as well, but going forward, it's like, do you go with the hot hand or do you go with the potential? I would have to go with the hot hand, and go with Nick in this situation and unload Carson, just because we see what happened in the past 2 years, even though some people will say, well, he's 26 years old, Carson, Nick's a little older, he has so much potential. He did at least, pretty much got them to what a point it was with a first round bye before he got hurt. You know what I mean? But who won the Super Bowl? Who came in and damn near took the Eagles back to the Super Bowl again? If I'm the Eagles, I will unload Carson, maybe get like a first round pick for him, and keep Nick and go that direction. Because if you're saying that he works with better with the offense and they're coaching better, but if they're saying that Peterson coaches better with Nick Foles on the field, I mean, that's a no-brainer. We got to go with the hot hand. What do you think about that?
You know, God, I'm going to agree with you, but I'm going to take it a step further because it kind of reminds me of the Patriots and Brady back in 02. Mm-hmm. Now, we all seen what Brady was when he played for Michigan. He was a bum. Came out in the 6th round. No one really expected anything with him. You had Bledsoe, a real good team. They had a great record going in. The rumors of them going to the Super Bowl were kind of getting the buzz was going. Then Bledsoe gets hurt. Brady comes into a system that he just fits perfect. A system that if anybody else would be in it, they wouldn't run it just as effective, even though they would get a good record. And if Tom Brady was in any other system, we don't know if he'd be the Tom Brady he is today with 6 Super Bowls. So you got a 10-year, 15-year decision as an organization when it comes to not 15, but maybe a 10-year decision when it comes to the Eagles, because if you make a decision like this and you give it all to Nick Foles and you show that amount of faith, well, look, we just gave up everything for Carson Wentz a couple years back and look what we did because we believe in you. The team is going to rally behind him. You got an organization with an owner in Jeffrey Lurie, with a coach in Peterson and just a spirited city to where they could threaten for the next 10 years. And that makes me sick to say.
And it's like, but if you make the wrong decision, though, you could set you back. You know what I mean? And instead of them making big, winning a couple more Super Bowls and being a winning organization, they would have to be forced to try to find that guy and rebuild. And be honest, I mean, it hasn't been a guy since McNabb. It's hard to get good quarterbacks in this league. And it's a good problem, to have. There's no way they're going to keep both of them. But I think they're going to go with Carson. But in this case, I think, because Nick is not too much older.
Well, with that said, God, as an Eagles fan, how do you feel about that? Because like you said, 10 years, it could set him ahead, but 10 years, it can also set him back. And Carson Wentz comes out week 2, and let's say he's on fire, but then he gets hit and that knee starts.
I like his potential, but that's definitely, and that's the decision the ownership has to make, because it's like you got to weigh that, that he's injury prone. And that's what he's been. And if he gets hurt again, and maybe it's a career-ending injury, then that's a waste right there, pretty much. And Nick's gone off, winning with Jacksonville, and now you're mad, and you got to look for Nate Studdlefield. He can't do anything.
Plays the ball.
Yeah, he can't be the next Foles. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't think it's going to happen. What I think is going to happen is that, Wentz is going to be a great quarterback in the league. They got to get him protected, get some better linemen, and make sure you don't get hit as much. And he has to be smarter. But but you never know in this league.
Well, you're going to be upset as an Eagles fan either way with the decision. I don't think there's a upset either way. You just want to hope that Wentz he stays healthy. But would you be upset either way?
You gotta love potential. When you see like the potential that Carson Wentz showed, it's like, man, it's so much upside. You gotta love it. You talk about Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? Maybe even better. He could be better than him, athletic wise. So, but again, it just so happened that Foles came in and won a Super Bowl. That messed everything up. It's a bad problem to have.
In Philly.
Yeah.
That makes a difference. In Philly.
Yeah.
So he didn't go do this in New England. He did it in Philly where y'all never seen one.
So he has to almost, at least win 1 or 2 playoff games next year in order for this decision. I mean, he has to at this point.
Players can't come out and say what they said. They got to keep that organization tight. Even if you're feeling it, that has to stay in-house. You can't give it to a Stephen A. Smith. And you can't fault him for doing his job. If you gave him that information, you knew damn well it was going to be on First Take the next morning. So you did it with intent. And you got to be careful. You wanted to set this shit off a little bit. And it's like, yo, for the strength of the organization, you can't do that.
Right.
I mean, you fucking it up.
Yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, man, you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sam, man. Going in today on this Tuesday afternoon. Everybody that's watching this on YouTube, do me 2 favors as usual. Hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. I want to move over here to this next story, man. Cardi B, put up a video today on Instagram, pretty much where she's complaining, talking about her high monthly expenses, and pretty much is saying that the IRS is taking up to 45% of her money. Let's hear what Cardi B has to say, and let's talk about this, man.
There's people in the comments like, you could have donated that, or we going backwards, you could have done this and that with your money. And it's like, who are you to tell people what to do with their hardworking ass money? First of all, do you know that artists, celebrities, the IRS, out of every check that you make, they automatically take 45% of your check. That means in order to spend $500,000, you gotta make at least $1 million. Then, like an artist like me and a lot of rappers that I know, they literally take care of their whole family, and that's not tax deductible because the IRS don't consider that a business. On top of that, being an artist, looking good for y'all, doing all this extra shit to please y'all, that shit costs money. Like me, for example, my bills is like, I'll say about $300,000, $250,000 every single month, and I try to put it cheaper, and it's not.
So, you know, obviously a little more there. The first thing that comes to my head, man, you need to go talk to Jay-Z accountant, because he said he's dead with living tax free. So I mean, maybe he was just bluffing, but Jay-Z rarely ever bluffs. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. But yeah, man, what do you think about this though, Sam, man? You know, Cardi B, you know, pretty much saying that first, you know, people stop telling her what to do with her money, but the expenses that she has to pay out every month.
Oh, well, she's 100% genuine. I 100% believe her and can understand. I don't feel sorry. I'm not going to sit here and rag on her or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but you got to make some tough decisions when it comes to being an entrepreneur and a baller. I mean, more money, more problems. We all heard the saying. I heard her say something that made sense. The IRS doesn't look at family as a business and things like that, which tells me, okay, she does have at least solidified within the LLC or S Corp her brand itself. So that's good. That may just be like you were talking about, the tax bracket that falls under Hollywood and musicians and stuff of that. That sort of pedigree that they just get him under a different tax bracket. 45% just may be the going rate. But you see other very successful artists that have made a wealth of money outside of the game of music that are able to control it. So you're on social media, you're telling about it, you're venting about it, even though no one deserves an explanation. You ain't got to tell nobody what you're doing your money or why you're doing it. No one deserves that explanation, but you gave it to us, and you just have to start making some tough decisions. Some people have to get cut off. Maybe I'm not gonna tell you what you do with your money, but there are ways to get that $300,000 bill down. Yeah,
and it's just like, you know, you just gotta get somebody in your corner who's real savvy, you know, with that type of you know, counseling and coaching. Maybe stop spending as much. As different things you could do, because you're bringing in good income, but you know, how much are you spending on this? Get some of those expenses down, right? You know, but I understand you have to take care, you know, of your family. We understand that, and you know, your entourage, security, and everybody who's going to travel with you. But yeah, man, I think, you know, the main thing is everything that glitters is not gold. You know, a lot of people, you know, want to be in certain positions and they want to be the Cardi B's and the Nicki Minaj's, but it may not be exactly what you think it is. It may just be a bigger house, but just more problems, you know, that go with that. You don't even want to really even deal with. You'd rather just get a paycheck, you know, and let them take the money out, not worry about it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I kind of feel, you know, for her. But in my thing, it's a good problem to have. I'd rather have that, you know, than being broke.
Yeah, I hear you. I think that anybody would take the latter over the other situation, obviously. But in 2019, it's so different when you got the phone and anything you do. If you trip and fall, you getting 1 million people coming at you, and it's like, damn, like 1 to 2 people laughing at you, you can brush off, but 1 million, and that's the day and age we're in, where people could just go at you so relentlessly, and they have there's nothing that they could get, no repercussions behind that, because they're the safety of their phone. They can type whatever the fuck they want. So I sympathize in that regard to what they have to go through. They definitely have to put out way more than it seems like they're bringing in. When you think about the shit they have to go through, on top of the 45% tax, and on top of the people that are looking at them and having no idea what 45% tax or anything is, don't care. All they see you on TV and they got their hand out. It ain't easy.
And that's high, but I mean, it does sound about, it could be correct. I mean, you know, under the pretense, of the more you make, the more you kind of gotta pay. I mean, you know, we got our own situations here, so yeah, you gotta know, you gotta have somebody in your corner, you know, what knows how to move it around and put it in different areas, you know, where you can kind of find different loopholes, is what I'll say.
Facts.
Yeah. So definitely, man, you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God, and Sam, man. But keep making that money, though, Cardi. Definitely.
Please make that money.
Yes, sir, man. Going in today on this Tuesday, everybody that's going to be listening to this on YouTube, as always, hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. Sam, man, you had a story about Lil Pump that I think you wanted to
yeah, man, indeed. Well, I sent you a video. I don't know if you got it. I got this on my phone. I'll grab it up real quick. And it was just him on IG. And we ain't Lil Pump fans. You don't
get that one. No.
I got you.
All right.
You You don't hear Lil Pump on this podcast, obviously. That music we don't listen to. So the reason why I wanted to bring him up and the reason why it's troubling is I got a 10-year-old son. And although he doesn't listen to Lil Pump, his friends do. And when I seen this video, it's like, yo, this can't go down. So I'm gonna drop my phone off because I've seen the video already. You could play that for the people and you can watch it yourself, and then we can give our 1-2 on that.
Yeah, 2K19, we pouring up healthy. You did. This is the only way. Harvard dropout on the way. Scat.
What's your thoughts, God?
Pretty crazy, man. I mean, we always talk about, and here's my thing, man. When you look at some of these guys' Instagram, that a video like that'll go up, or Twitter, and within a matter of minutes, you may have hundreds of thousands of children. Literally, people with 20, 30 million people that's following them, that see this, and you're influencing them, whether you think so or you're not. So yeah, I feel disgusted, by that. And my thing is, I understand that guys gonna want to do what they do. You can put whatever in your body you want to put in your body. That's up to you, but don't put that shit on camera and influence other people to do it, because you're leaving just like we were talking about the conversation with these guys with the liquor. You know what I mean? Even though you can say what you want and anybody could do it, but it's like that blood is still on your hands. People may think it's extreme, but it's just real talk at the end of the week. And this could be proven with anything. If we were promoting positive things, just marketing, period, promotion, just knowing how the brain works, you understand that when you're promoting something, you're going to have an influence, on people, especially if they're looking up to you. You know what I mean? They want to wear what you wear. They want to say what you say. They want to drink what you drink. Simple.
Yeah, that's a fact. And as you were talking, I'm going through his IG to see what the likes were on that. It was on his story, so I couldn't see it. But 17.6 million people follow this dude. 17.6. And they're not our age. Their ages where they're impressionable, where you're making an impression on them. And when they see you with the big chains and they see you iced out, like you were saying, this is what they think they have to do to get there. And when they see your stupid ass pouring this lean in this cup of juice that's fucked up too, we'll get into that. What kind of example are you leading to these 11, to these 12-year-olds that are sitting behind a video game, listening to your music and telling them, yo, you better go grab some of that lean out your joint? It's that fucking serious. And I don't mean to sound like an old man. I don't mean to sound old-spirited, but yo, let's keep it real. These are the children going through this. And when we start seeing 11 and 12-year-olds going down because of lean abuse, then you got to hold yourself accountable. Not to mention, let's keep it real. If you really care about Lil Pump, look at this dude and really understand that he needs some help. Lil Pump needs help. He was fucking gone on the video, completely gone. It wasn't bud. It was way more than that. It looked like he done had half that bottle prior to putting half the bottle in the Minute Maid joint.
What do you think? What do you think about the people who say? Because I see this often in the comments. It's like, forget him. The parents need to take responsibility. You know what I mean? The parents, should be the ultimate influence on the children. They shouldn't allow a guy like Lil Pump, you know what I mean, to influence their kids anyway. What do you say to the people that say that?
I agree with them 1,000%. And as a parent, as a proud parent, as a parent that's on my son and my daughter constantly, I can definitely say him being a 10-year-old on the video game and hearing something about lean and being pressured. I was 10 years old once, we all were. Sometimes peer pressure can get the best to where you even want to try it. And if you mix Lil Pump in, and you mix all your friends in, and you mix just that constant pressure, sometimes we're going to go against what our parents say just to try the shit out.
Damn, that's a good point.
And there's nothing a good parent can do about that. So you got to hold yourself up more accountable. I could tell him not to listen to Lil Pump. He knows his garbage. His favorite artists are Kendrick Lamar, Meek Mill. He likes Triple X. He likes Slick Rick. He likes I love my son's catalog of music.
Right.
It's not Lil Pump, but I know the friends he's playing video games and they're rocking Lil Pump. And I know thousands and millions of other kids are. So when you show them this, and a lot of other parents aren't like me, many are, many aren't, that aren't going to sit there and pay attention to what their kids are looking at on the phone, and then what they're saying on the video game, and then what's transitioning because you might have had the flu and you got promethazine sitting in your thing right now, not realizing it, and it's easy for them to just go and drink it. Man, come on, man. We got
man, definitely. That's definitely a great point, man. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast, the most underrated podcast right now in the world, man. If you're listening on YouTube, I need y'all to go ahead and hit that like button and make sure you go down in the description box and follow us on all our social media handles. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. on whatever channel that you're watching this on. I want to talk about this Liam Neeson story. This was trending actually #1 yesterday, and the audio has came out. And Liam Neeson did appear on Good Morning America this morning, where he addressed a statement that he once roamed the streets in pursuit of a black person to kill after someone close to him disclosed that she had been raped by an unidentified black person. Now, I actually want to play the audio that's been made available today, and then we'll talk about this.
I'll tell you a story. This is true. I'm not going to use any names, but I was away and I came back, and she told me she had been raped, but she handled the situation of the rape in the most extraordinary way. But my immediate reaction was, I asked, did she know who it was? No. What color were they? She said it was a black person. I went up and down areas with a cosh, hoping I'd be approached by somebody. I'm ashamed to say that. And I did it for maybe a week, hoping some black bastard would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, you know, so that I could kill him.
Sam, man, that's at first I didn't know that it went that extreme. A little shaken by that. What do you think? Of those words. This is my first time actually hearing that audio of Liam Neeson. Just pretty much showing his true colors there.
Exactly. So why are people surprised?
And that audio is courtesy of the Savoy Show.
I don't like all the fake outrage out here. I don't like all the people that are out here throwing out memes and saying he's canceled from the barbecue and doing this in particular celebrity and things like that. And they're going to go do movies with him and various things. I may surprise a few people, but I'm not mad at him. And you got to understand where I'm coming from. The context of what he said obviously was fucking racist to its core. You're going to try to find any black bastard that you can and do harm to him. But is anybody surprised that he said
for a week, though? That's a little different. He said he walked for a week, though, dog.
He was that kind of hatred was in him.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it that crazy? I mean, I'm not saying everybody's like that. And I'm not saying that we should all look at, obviously, definitely not saying that we should look at all white people in the lens of animals and savages and a lot of other nouns we like to use. But we can't be surprised when we hear this from a 66, 67-year-old man. The second he asked what color she was and she said black, the second I knew where it was going. I knew where it was going. I wasn't surprised by anything else because I've been around that type, seen that type, know that type. None of that.
Well, you think like, all right, so for me, I know like, all right, if let's just say, for example, a family member got raped by another race, it wouldn't make me say I'm just going to go get anybody of this particular,
you know what I'm saying, race. Remember when we saw Panther in 2nd grade and we saw all them them cops and stuff doing them things to our people?
But a certain extent, though.
Remember when we
didn't do it, though.
We were at school looking at them white folk like, but we thought about it.
But we didn't do it, though. We didn't say that we went, and grabbed the blicky. We was walking up and down the street looking for a white dude to come out and just say some shit so we can just blow his brains out. We never said nothing like that.
Nah, but let Frank
I think it goes a little bit. That's a little bit extreme. And I mean, I'm not surprised,
right?
But I think just hearing it from him, his voice, it sounds kind of sinister to me.
It was
definitely,
it was some evil intent involved in that,
right?
Like it would have been more than just shooting you and I avenged this rape of my friend. Nah, there would have been some malice involved, and you could hear it in his voice and his tone. It was troubling. I'm not going to hold you, but it doesn't surprise me. And I don't like the fake outrage. I don't like the people just love to jump on trends. I see DL Hughley and I see Jamie Foxx and all these other people and people I have respect for. But stop bandwagon jumping. It's here today and it's going tomorrow for you.
One thing you got to understand is those guys, that's their job kind of. They jump on those type of topics or whatever, and when it's racially charged or whatever, it's their job to come in and say something about it. That's the way I look at it. A lot of them I don't take serious, but some of them I do.
Their job, I like that.
Yeah, it definitely kind of is, man, the way it seems like. But that's crazy, man. I kind of like this dude, man, watching his movies and shit. And to see this, definitely makes me look at him differently.
It'll give you a side eye. I can't look at one of his movies and look at him with a thorough view. Not if motherfuckers can get mad at Kevin Hart for homophobic tweets 10 years ago, or cheating on his wife. Because I know my lady won't watch a Kevin Hart movie because of what he did. This is women's solidarity. I don't play that shit. But it's like, come on, man. So I'm not gonna give him a pass. Not happening.
No doubt. Yeah, man. But yeah, that that is what it is. I like to see what people have to say about that.
They're gonna say,
yeah, they're gonna go in. They're gonna go in. I can't wait to hear what y'all definitely
indeed
their perspective on that. Yeah, but you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother Old God and Sam, man. Going in today on this Tuesday. I want to play this next clip right here, Sam, man. I'm gonna get your opinion on this one, man. The state of New Jersey now, has passed a new law, and I'm gonna play this this news clip right here and get your opinion on this one, man. I know you'll be excited about this.
New Jersey has now become the second state in the nation to pass a law requiring schools to teach LGBT history in the classrooms. Under the new measure, public schools must include lessons about the political, economic, and social contributions of the LGBT community. The new law goes into effect at the start of the 2020 school year. Governor Murphy called the law a step toward inclusion and fairness.
Sam, man, what do you think about this? Being as though we both have kids, in the school, how do you feel about them, learning about, their history, but specifically history, with the LGBTQ community, talking about, their struggle, some of the pioneers, some of the, things that they went through, oppression they went through in this country. What do you think about that now being implemented in New Jersey, because we're in the state of New Jersey? What's your opinion? I'm sure you're chomping at the bit to go in on this one.
Yeah, you can tell, right? Let me start by saying I have family in the LGBTQ community, so I have absolutely no problem with anybody. I got love in my heart for everybody.
Right.
Got love in my heart for everybody, but you'll never sell me on a point of why we have to push sexuality and sexual orientation and why that has to be pushed. And what does that matter? What does who you sleep with matter? Now, I understand that you need rights 100%. Okay. I understand that there's certain rights that you were not available to in the past that you want. You deserve that 100%. But now, school, we don't even learn about Black history properly for the 27 days. And I think that's a blatant disrespect to Black people. I can't help but to think that. And I'm not trying to be the racist guy right now. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to throw the color out there, but the more I think about it, the more pisses me off, because it's Black History Month. It's now February 5th. And my son ain't came home with shit from Black History Month, but he came home with every goddamn Holocaust piece of information that he had every day of January.
Wow.
And now we hear this in state of New Jersey. So when is this? What month is this going to go down? March?
February. Oh, near March. Yeah, March.
Probably right in March. Let's get this whole campaign smoking. It bothers me, man.
Right.
And I'll leave it at that right now.
Yeah. It's it's one of those things where, I think that we should just, kind of just take it on the chin, be outraged, take it on the chin, and look at it as one of those things to say, like, look, man, we have to, develop a strategy to, get some alternatives to what they got going on in the public school. That's why it's important for people, to, talking heads to, when they talk about schools, to produce those type of things, because, that's unprecedented. That's unprecedented. That's all I'm gonna say.
We talk about having a fair. We talked about it in the pre-production. We had a real strong pre-production. We talked about fairness, and we talked about all essentially we want as a people is just to have an equal seat at the table, to be able to look across this man, this woman, and to be able to be seen equally.
Facts.
We're tired of fucking bringing in the food, and now not only are we bringing in the food for all races, now we're bringing in food for sexual orientation. Yeah, shit bothers me, man.
Yeah, it's it's crazy, man. But I'll let the people in the comment section pretty much, tell us how they think about that. That's crazy. I'm almost at a loss for words.
Not sexual orientation, sexual preference, or who you decide to fucking sleep with. Like,
yeah, pretty much. Definitely, man. Crazy. Yeah, man. But on a bright note, man, here on the Uncensored Truth podcast, let's talk about this, man. Our man Philadelphia Freeway has had a long battle with kidney disease. Well, he announced a few days ago that he finally found a transplant. He put a video up this morning pretty much saying he was going under the knife Now Freeway put a video up with an update. Here we go.
So here's the doctor that did my surgery.
He's doing great. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Might be a HIPAA violation. Did they have you sign any forms yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good. If you're posting it tonight, you say you're doing great. Okay, dressing looks good. You feel okay? Are you having a lot of pain or not? We did a nerve.
What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for all the prayers and all the support. Everything went well. The surgery went well, and I recovered. God is good. I got the new kidney. The doctor said everything's fine. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, we don't need that.
Thank y'all, man. I really felt the prayers. You know, that meant a lot, man. I felt the prayers. Thank you, man.
You can just tell by watching that, man, that you know, when you watch the video, that dude is like overwhelmed, like relieved. You know what I mean? That this is finally over. I mean, at a point, you know, obviously his life, you know, when your kidneys like that at any time, you know, since it cleans out your system, that, you know, it's a dangerous situation. So I'm happy, you know, to see that brother come out of that and see the relief on his face. Now he has to just recover, you know what I mean? And shout out to Freeway, man, a strong dude though, been traveling still, you know what I'm saying? Resilient, still doing shows, despite the fact that he still had to do the dialysis. And anybody who's been on dialysis, I haven't, but I know people who have. It's draining, it's tiring. It pretty much takes everything out of you. So, man, shout out to Freeway. That's dope, man.
Facts, man. I remember watching Freeway and watching Beans and looking at these two in particular, being so close to Philly and just going, damn, them brothers are invincible. Like, them brothers in particular, them two tag team champions of the world, they're invincible. Like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And then to watch him and watch even Beans to a certain degree just be men and look at this and be human and to go through things. And we talked about it. A lot of them, they dipped and dabble in certain things, but Freeway to a certain degree, we don't know. He might have lived a clean life primarily for the most part. And this happens because of diet. This happens because of food, especially when it comes to our culture. And, you know, I like to get on my tantrums in particular with dieting and things like that. But a lot of people out here, and it's bodybuilders or whatever, you thinking protein is the way to go and things like that, not understanding that when you take in too much protein, that's overworking your organs. And this is all one system. The heart's aligned with the kidneys in line with the lungs aligned with the liver, pancreas. All of this is one in itself. So when one goes, the body has to compensate for those things that it's lacking. And when you put too many things in your body, when we naturally digest food every 48 hours and we're just over consuming and we just have all of this backup in us that's creating mucus and disease and dis-ease. And this is what gets us in these dialysis centers, because our kidneys have to flush, right? And our bodies have to flush, and we have to flush every day. And when you have situations like this is a situation where this is nothing but backup. And it's, when you really break down the science of it, is sickening and it's sad. Now, I'm a control freak. I like to tell people I'm a control freak, but I'm not a control freak of you, her, him, my kids. I'm a control freak of myself, which means I'm not going to allow anything to come in my body that I don't want in there. Right. As you know, I was diagnosed with a disease when I was 7 years old, an autoimmune disease that took away my ability to grow hair. From then on, I tried to understand that what was it that took away my hair. Never could understand it. And the more I got involved with the body, and the more I got involved with the science of the body, I was like, okay, there's something that I'm putting in myself or taking out of myself that's telling my body that my hair as a germ has to go. So I really made a conscious effort of making sure whatever I put in my body has to benefit my body. This is a machine. If I could sit there and take care of my car, if I could take care of my crib, if I could take care of my Instagram fucking page, I should be able to take care of my body. And not to get off the main topic, which is Freeway, but when you see that brother in here, a young brother, full of life, you see the strength in him. He wants to go out and tour. He wants to do these things. His body isn't there with his mind, and it's sad. He shouldn't have to go through this. We have to educate ourselves better when it comes to proper dieting, proper nutrition, proper ways of living, so that we don't fall in these situations at 40 and 50 years old when we just getting started. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely some sound, advice right there coming from Sandman. Yeah, man, but you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother Old God and Sandman over there from Viral Hip Hop News. Everybody that's going to watch this on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. All right, man, this next story right here, we all know about
Tekashi 6ix9ine's guilty plea, pleading guilty to about 8 to 9 counts last week. Well, 50 Cent, his former road dog, sat down, and talked about, him working with authorities. I'm going to play what 50 Cent says. We're going to have a discussion about this once again, man. Here goes 50 Cent.
Culturally, they're going gang, gang, gang. When I get on the record with them, I go, I am not gang, gang. I do not gang bang. Immediately. Because I don't like RICO. I don't like conspiracy.
Right.
Give me a homicide right now. I'll take a homicide right now before you give me that. Because, look, John Gotti will walk out the courtroom successful 3 times until they start calling him Teflon Don homicides. And then they come with that RICO and then you 23-1 Mary.
Yeah, it's done.
It get crazy. So like that those laws were designed for you not to escape them. So it'd be a tough. That term, when I saw what I saw in the paper,
mm-hmm.
I feel like he's gonna tell on everything.
Mm-hmm.
That was a part that wasn't even an indictment. The stuff that they're saying that he's talking about is not an indictment. So he's offering that along with everything else, and then they added those new people to the indictment.
So in 2019 and 2020, can this whole situation happen with 6ix9ine, and then him come home and still have a successful music career? Because we're in a different day and age. So I'm just curious.
It is different. Look, I think if he can make music and people can hear it, but the original core and bass that he tapped into won't.
Even though that original core bass, the fans, they didn't really care if he really came from that.
Right.
And everybody.
It was entertaining. Look, they didn't look at it and say
he wasn't built for that.
He would say, "Did you let the little rainbow kid say that to you?"
Right.
And you're not gonna do nothing. Like he's saying that to you. Like that's what the humor. Like he had a personality, character that he's like he could.
All right, so that's 50 Cent, man, right there. Said some real interesting, things there about Tekashi 6ix9ine. Echo some things that we said, here on the podcast, already. And a lot of people, like you said, academics, you said that he was pretty much saying that just because he gave a little bit of information that he's not going to per se snitch. If I'm not mistaken, that's the gist of what he said. But we kind of see it like, just knowing how the system and that either you go in or you don't. And again, some things were left out because there's still a lot of things pending. So things that he told is still not even being shown right. They showed us what he told on now, but what are they not showing us? You know what I mean? So that's what we have to look at. I definitely agree with 50 Cent, on that. Also to the point of, him trying to salvage his career if he does, 10, maybe 12 years. Like that initial, fan base kind of gravitated towards Tekashi because of the, the persona that he presented along with the music. So it'll be hard now. And you said, you have no chance pretty much, of salvaging his career after this in hip hop. But yeah, man, what do you think about 50 Cent? Talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine, saying, man.
50's a genius, man. And I'm not afraid to say that. Now he goes and trolls and you may not like him because of his antics and little things that he may do. But when it comes down to business, this man is a very smart man. He's a genius. I'm not even going to hold you. The initial, we heard prior to it in the conversation, in the pre-production meeting, he was talking about Soulja Boy and what brought him to Soulja Boy. And it was his business sense, what he did at 16 years old that nobody was doing out here as grown men. He respected that and appreciated that grind. Same thing on 6ix9ine. He made it cool to go ahead and blonde your hair, bleach your hair, and then throw rainbow colors and talk some shit. He tapped into a demographic and did things that no one was out here doing. And oh yeah, he was winning with his music too. He respected the business, but he wanted to stay as far away from the persona as possible. We all know he'll beat a homicide, but he ain't trying to beat the RICO. He knows what to fuck with, what not to fuck with. 50's very smart in that regard. So I don't even want to go against what 50 says when it comes to his music career. I would jump to that real quick.
Yeah.
But I don't think there is any music career. I think it's done. When you think of if he does 10 to 12 years, the amount of technology that's going to come out in the next 10 to 12 years, the amount of music, when we're sitting here on a here today, going tomorrow kind of basis, we don't like to digest and take in things now. No one's going to remember 6ix9ine in 10 to 12 years.
What if he does 7 like Smurder? Let's say he does 7 and Smurder's about to get out and it looks like he's going to be pretty relevant, when he gets out. So is there any chance that, that happens? Like you said, he's probably still going to want to make music. He may even release some stuff from behind bars. You know how shit works now, you know, on the phone or whatever. But, you know, yeah, I mean, he could possibly, you never know.
You got to look at these two separate too, because you got to look at what he went in there for. And you got to look at what he's doing right now. And like we said, you have some people still trying to skate for 6ix9ine and trying to keep his name relevant and trying to keep that persona relevant because they're getting paid from that persona. But to keep it 100, there's no way when you go ahead and you're sitting there telling on people and your persona was supposed to be this, that not only are you going to be able to go out and rap like you did, because it wasn't like you were the most skilled lyricist in the world. You were out there screaming a bunch of bullshit. You got to be protected. Where are you going to go do shows at? Where are you going to make money doing music? And then who's going to listen?
Yeah. So you think his music career is pretty much canned at this point?
I think it's done.
Even if he go, you know, what if he don't tell on nobody at this point? He just tells that. And, you know, do you think there's a chance? Because that's what supposedly everybody's saying. Your boy Academics pretty much was saying that he's not, well, not, but doesn't mean that he's going to necessarily give him everything just because he gave him what he gave him so far.
That is where I do agree with 50. That brother has another 365 days to go ahead and give them anything they want. He's going to be eating steak and chilling and telling.
I think he already gave it all.
He might have. I heard there's a lot of things, and we're not going to get too deep into it, but a lot of people were saying that he was telling prior to that kidnapping.
Talk about that.
A lot of people were sitting when he got kidnapped. A lot of people were speculating, I should say, speculations out there that he started cooperating, then giving up information. And I know you were telling me them feds, they play dirty. Cops, they play dirty. We all know they probably start throwing out them text messages and them tapes and all that stuff back then, because that's when we started slowly seeing him kind of start fading himself up out of that picture, and we started hearing the rumors going right about that kidnapping time. Did Shotty do it to this, to that, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know.
I mean, wiretaps are serious, you know what I mean, in a way that they pretty much thoroughly break down your organization better than you can even explain it, probably better than anybody can explain. They pretty much, you know, whether even you think you're running it like a crime syndicate, you are. You know, according to them, and they'll break it down and say, okay, this person was this person was this, the leader, the runners, you know, the testers. They'll break it down like that and put you in, you know, that RICO, and the fact that they got these guys on a wiretap, you know, supposedly, you know, guys threatening guys, guns and different things like that. Like 50 Cent said, it's a situation where it's designed to bury you. You know what I'm saying? It's designed to make you snitch. It's designed to make you turn, or you'll sit in that box, you know, all day long and be released when they want and do it. And, you know, and they'll take your life away. It's just that simple. So when you're faced with either having your life taken away, you know what I mean, or giving up everything, you know, against some cats that was already doing shit behind your back, it seemed like it was a pretty easy decision for 6ix9ine to do, in my opinion. I don't agree with it. I think it was cowardly, you know, but yeah, I think it was pretty easy. I don't think it took them long at all to do that.
Let me ask you a question, because I don't see us really talking about this too much more, with probably until about 2020 when shit's really going down. Would you put more blame on his legal team that we've criticized a number of times throughout this whole situation since November, since it went down, or do you give credit to the feds for just having a foolproof plan? Did they walk in knowing if you don't tell on everybody, you will do life in prison?
I think it's a situation where he's cold busted. It's almost like if you go, you know, and you did something you didn't think it was on camera, and they got you on camera, and it's like they didn't show you that shit. What you gonna say? You know what I mean? It wasn't me. So yeah, I'm not gonna give, you know, of course they did a thorough investigation, you know, but yeah, I mean, his legal team they only can do what you say do. You know, at the end of the day, if they're saying like, and his legal team is probably telling him like, look, you know, plead guilty now, and we'll try to get you a better deal and at least, you know, save some of your life. If you don't, with the evidence that they got, so and so and so and so, this is what's probably going to happen. You're going to get 40, boom, boom, whatever years, your life is going to be done. Take this, you got to look at both situations here. You got to think about quality of life, you know what I mean? And, you know, whatever, your career is done and all that, the street shit is done. Boom, you take the deal, you give them everything they need, they give you leniency, you can see the light of day one day. I think it was an easy decision that he made within seconds.
Good point.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God, and Sam, man. Going in today on this Tuesday, it's been a great program today. I think I pretty much covered,
I think that's it.
All the topics. We had a lot of great ones actually, you know, today. But yeah, man, another episode in the books. Will be here Friday night at 8 p.m. live. That's Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I should say, on Hip Hop News Uncensored for our official live show. And yeah, man, another one in the books, man. Definitely appreciate y'all listening in.
Indeed, man. We always appreciate y'all support on Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, and of course, the Uncensored True Podcast official channel. Let me give a special thanks to the people over there who rock with us.
Yes.
We had somebody in the comment section get mad at you because you compared, or you said Tommy Lauren and Charlamagne were friends.
They used to be.
And I'm like, damn, he's being sarcastic. Or what if he wasn't?
They were friends. You ain't him hanging out and shit?
I mean, but listen, it was in minute 44. And the fact that somebody was critical at minute 44, thank you for watching that long.
Right.
That's all I was trying to get to. But yeah, man, we appreciate each and every one of y'all support out there. We'll be here Thursday for an episode of the Uncensored True Podcast. And like Oga said, Friday night live exclusively on Hip Hop News Uncensored. We're going to tear the building up. We'll have the phone lines open.
Yes.
Maybe some guests, who knows, man. But we're looking forward to it. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Another episode of the books. We out of here, man.
We out of here. Peace.